senior writer for RealTime Fantasy Sports, and welcome to another edition of the RealTime Fantasy Sports Show. On today's show, I'm going to give you my Sunday morning update for Week 12 of the fantasy football season. I'll give you the actives, inactives from the early games, the ones of note, and then also some news and notes from around the league. Let's jump right into it. All right, I'll go over the actives first. Giovanni Bernard is active. He had some concussion issues. There was some concern he might not play this week, but he is active. He will start this week with Joe Mixon out of action once again. A decent play for fantasy teams in a starting role. Hayden Hurst of the Falcons, he is active as well. He had an ankle injury. He was questionable, a game time decision, but he is active. Austin Eckler returns from his major hamstring injury this week. He was activated from injured reserve earlier this week. He is active for the game, might not get a full workload, but should get plenty of work in his return to action, especially when I tell you who's inactive in a couple minutes here. Also active, Sony Michel. He makes his return. He returned from injured reserve last week, but the Patriots held him out of action. He returns to action this week. Could split work with Damian Harris at running back for the Patriots. A little bit of an iffy fantasy play because Harris has been playing so well, but Michelle is back in the lineup. Now let's go over the inactives. The first one, Kalen Ballage. I just talked about Eckler being back. Ballage is out. He's been battling ankle and calf injuries this week. He was questionable, a game time decision. He is officially out. So that means Eckler could get a couple more carries than he might have if Ballage was healthy, but Ballage is out for sure, so take him out of your lineups. Julio Jones, he is officially out today. His hamstring injury kept him out of practice Friday. That was a concern. It kind of sent up the red flags. He might not be able to play this week. Jones is officially out, will not play. Tua Tagovailoa, he's out as well. He has a thumb injury. He will not play. Ryan Fitzpatrick returns to the starting lineup, and he could keep the job if he plays well and the Dolphins win the game. This is probably a boost for the entire Dolphins passing game, including Devontae Parker. Also inactive, Adam Thielen. He might have COVID. It still is not confirmed if he officially has it, but he possibly has it. He will be kept out of action in today's Vikings game, so he will not play. That means Justin Jefferson could get even more work at receiver for the Vikings. Now some news and notes. As of now, the NFL still plans to play the Ravens-Steelers game on Tuesday. There's been multiple tests for the Ravens. Now the Steelers have players with COVID as well. It's just a mess, but it looks like they're going to still try to play that game Tuesday. I still have my doubts because so many players have been battling this, and both teams are just ravaged by COVID. The Ravens more so than the Steelers, but still, it's a concern for me. And I think if your league is not doing a contingency plan where you can notify certain players who are going to be active if the Ravens Steelers game is canceled. I think if you have to make a hard decision by noon today or by the time games start, I would stay away from Ravens and Steelers players personally, unless it's a big advantage in playing one of those Steelers or Ravens on your team. I just think it's too risky. I still think there's a chance they're going to cancel this game. But as of now, it's still on for Tuesday. Jalen Hurts, he's been getting first team reps at quarterback for Philadelphia. Carson Wentz has been a mess. He could get some chances in the game this week. Could be a bit of a change of the guard if Hurts plays well and Wentz continues to struggle. So that's something to keep an eye on in the game today in Philadelphia. And lastly, the Broncos, all of their quarterbacks are on the COVID list because they were in close contact with someone who contacted it. That means practice squad receiver Kendall Hilton is expected to start a quarterback for the Broncos. He did play some quarterback in college for Wake Forest, but he wasn't great. I think I would downgrade all of my Broncos receivers. I wouldn't use any of them personally unless you have some really poor options behind them, like Jerry Jeudy and Tim Patrick. I would just stay away from them. I don't think they're worth the risk today. I think Hinton's going to hand the ball off often and throw very, very little in this game. Big concern if you have any Denver players, unless you have some running backs. So maybe Melvin Gordon plays well, Philip Lindsay as well. They could get a few more chances in this game, but definitely a concern. And it'll be interesting to watch this game to see how it plays out with Kendall Hinton starting at quarterback for Denver. All right, that's my Sunday morning for week 12 of the fantasy football season. Good luck in all your games this week and enjoy the day. This has been Jeff Paur for RealTime Fantasy Sports. Have a great day.